Hi, my name is Jamie Rue, and today I'm going to talk to you about Stars Above by Marissa Meyer. I'm filming a winter review. I promise. It's coming. I'm sorry. I meant to film it back, when it came out, and then I just didn't. For those of you that haven't read the Lunar Chronicles, maybe go look it up because I don't super want to talk about it, but also I have a review here explaining what it is, and also just talking about the first book in general. So if you want to know what the Lunar Chronicles is and why I'm really excited about it, Stars Above is a compilation of short stories happening before and after, hint hint, winter, and just the Lunar Chronicles in general. And if you like the Lunar Chronicles, definitely read it. If you haven't read the Lunar Chronicles yet, maybe don't read it. Maybe that's a bad idea because it kind of talks about things that happen after the last book. So if you haven't read the series at all yet, definitely go give it a read. If you have read the series, go pick up this book if you haven't already for some reason. I'm going to talk about things that are going to spoil the entire book for you now, so if you don't want that to happen, I suggest you leave. I'm going to go through each story one at a time, starting from the beginning and then to the end, which is what I actually want to talk about. So let's go. Seeing Michelle was weird. I blanked on who she was for a minute, and then I remembered, and then also Logan, and the fact that she was all heartbroken about it, a little bit, but more wistful, and then, I don't know, that was nice. Did he ever find out that they had a kid together? I don't know. That's a good question. And also, how do you just low-key keep a human being living in a secret hangar without your grandkid ever finding out? There's a child running around the farm. She didn't ever go exploring and then accidentally stumble upon it and be like, oh my god, why is there a human inside of the incubation chamber thing? It's not what it is, but I'm just gonna call it that. Yeah, and then the surgery, I don't know, that was a good story. It wasn't my favorite, but it was a good story. I've definitely read the Cinder Comes Home story. Did I read it online or did I read it as an extra part of Cinder? Where did I read that? Because obviously I haven't read this book before, but I've definitely read it. And it's not a fan fiction, it's nothing like that. I've definitely read that exact story somewhere because I remember the dress up and the Adri yelling about Garen having lunar sickness and being like, oh my god, you can't leave me here with that thing, which was the worst line. I hate Adri. Where have I read that before? I don't know. I think Wolf's story might have been one of my favorites, maybe second. I don't know, there was just something about Wolf's story where he got taken away from his family and then he kind of worked his way to the middle of the ranks and then his brother came and then he became alpha all of a sudden and he's like, oh my god, what? All of the pack members knew already, but then he kind of realized it later. And I don't know, I just liked Wolf. Wolf is also just a good character. I didn't like him so much when I first read his character, but then the rest of the series happened, and now, I really like Wolf. Wolf and Scarlet, and I don't know, there was just something about Wolf, and also I like that his brother ended up being part of the same regime, part of the same team, I don't know what squad? Pack, geez, why can't I think of that? It's also sad that Rand was, the Omega, because his brother is now the alpha and now he's the omega, and that's kind of awkward. But I also understand Rand's position of leave me alone. I thought this was my chance to do something and get away from you, and you're here. I mean, I don't understand. I sympathize with his character. Carswell, Thorn, I don't know. There's just something about Thorn, especially in this, right, where he's just the using everyone for his own benefit manipulator type character. Later on in the actual series, he tries to better himself as a human being, and I still don't like him very much. So, I don't know, there's just something about Thorn, especially in this, where he's just arrogant and using everyone for his own benefit, and it's just not my thing, and I didn't like that story. I'm sorry, Cress, that your life is terrible. Cress just gets the short end of the stick all the time. She's a shell, and she gets sent off to be alone. I don't know, she just always ends up just in the worst situations. Of the four characters, I mean, actually Winter has it pretty bad. Of the four, girl main characters, Crest has it the worst. Situation-wise, and she just lives a sad life. She thought she was going to Earth, and then she didn't. I mean, eventually she does, but she didn't, and then, I don't know, Crest, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that your life is so terrible. And that sounds like I'm being very callous and insincere, but I'm being very, very serious when I say that I'm sorry. Winter's such a good person at the heart, and then Levana's such a terrible person. Also, can we talk about the fact that she saved someone from committing suicide, and she ended up committing suicide later, and she didn't realize what was happening, and I don't know, she just feels bad. I also don't understand though why she didn't just use her lunar powers for not bad things. she could make her hand look different for a minute and then she wouldn't have lunar sickness. I just don't get why. I understand wanting to not use your powers for evil. Why couldn't you just manipulate your nails to be a different color for like 5 seconds? I just don't get it. Especially if the repercussions are you having hallucinations about just the castle walls bleeding all the time. And also, can I mention how much I hate Levana because of what the hell is wrong with you? Levana's the worst person. If you want to know how bad Levana is, read Fairest. What significance did Star have? I feel like the mute android came up somewhere. Where did she come up from? I have no freaking clue, man. Who was Star? Someone tell me. I don't remember. I was racking my brain the entire time I was reading it. It was a good story. I just had no idea what relevance it had to the rest of the series. Was it just to show the Cinder cameo that happened for like 5 seconds? No, right? There was something that was significant that I just didn't remember. Maiko wasn't significant. Neither was whatever his name was. Dataron? He wasn't significant either. I would have recognized that name, I think. Who is that? I don't know. It was a good story. But like, what? I feel like I've read Kai's story too from somewhere. I don't know. Just that seems familiar, but also maybe I just read one too many fanfictions about the Lunar Chronicles. He was totally not expecting Cinder, and that was funny. And Aiko was funny because Aiko's always funny. The fact that he just kept being distracted by this girl who's a mechanic was really funny. Because he was like, oh wait, I'm here for my android. Why am I so distracted? I don't understand. It's because you like her, bud. So the actual reason that I'm filming this review at all is because of the last short story. I mean, I was gonna review it anyway, but I need to talk about the last short story because can we talk about that Cinder and Kai are engaged now and Scarlet and Wolf got married and Kai officiated and I love how Scarlet just had no idea and Wolf is so cute, right? Because he set up this whole thing because Scarlet was getting so mad about the paparazzi being all up their asses because that's just what the paparazzi does. It's not even paparazzi, it's just like journalists, but in my mind they're paparazzi. You're camping on someone's front lawn, you're paparazzi, man. Like, bye. Scarlet and Wolf are just so cute. And also, like, Cinder and Kai's little reunion thing, and then when they got engaged, and also when Kai was officiating, and then he was like, kind of talking about himself and Cinder. Just everything about that one short story was so nice. I'm going to read just that one short story over and over again. If any of you have read the Mortal Instruments series all the way through and have read the Bane Chronicles, there is one story in there that I just read over and over again. I've read the whole book, obviously. I've read it just once, though, and I'm just going to read the one short story over and over and over again for the rest of my life because it's cute and because I love Magnus and Alec. I think you all know what story I'm talking about if you read the Bane Chronicles, but you should totally read the Mortal Instruments, by the way. This is like that, where I'm just gonna read that one short story over and over again because I was crying, guys. I'm crying talking about it. Literally, there are tears in my eyes talking about it. I don't know, this is going on my bookshelf now. So if you made it all the way through that review without having read Stars Above or the Lunar Chronicles, first of all, you're crazy. Second of all, I'm sorry, and you should go read the series now because it's awesome. Or just go pick up this book if you read the rest of the series. I am going to put up my review of Winter before the end of this month. I promise. I'm really excited about this book. So I'm going to go probably film my review of Winter, honestly. Alright, bye.